6 years is long enough to wait before reviewing a toy a second time, right? For longtime fans of this channel, you'll know that I've already reviewed G1 Starscream back in the end of 2018, in the innocent days when the world was new. You'll also know that I didn't give him very high marks. Well, with there being yet another round of Walmart-exclusive G1 reissues come and gone like a lingering fart, I thought it was high time to give this mold another look. Won't you join me? Welcome to Kit Katastrophe. My name is Kit, and today we'll be taking a look at Transformers Generation 1 Decepticon Plane Starscream. This figure was originally released in 1984 as part of the Decepticon Plane assortment, but this version is a substantial redeco re-released in 2023 as a Walmart and online retailer exclusive. This video is brought to you in part by ToyHacks.com, your one-stop shop for Transformers upgrade stickers and more, who still offer fantastic quality reproduction stickers for the original G1 Starscream. Use the promo code JulyOKaiser before July ends to earn 15% off your next order, and check out my community tab to find the latest promo codes. Using the code supports the channel. If you've been living under a rock, 2023 saw a new hash of Generation 1 reissues originally meant to celebrate the 1986 film, with a twist never before seen on Western shores. All of the toys were redecoed into show-accurate decos. However, it had only been a couple years since the last slate of G1 reissues, also exclusive to Walmart no less, and both assortments had Hot Rod and Starscream as their premiere releases. Suffice it to say that Starscream did not move off shelves very quickly at all, and I haven't seen a single other toy from this reissue line in stores whatsoever. Had to get them all online. The 2023 reissue of Generation 1 Starscream is not the first attempt at giving this mold a new show-accurate color scheme, as it builds upon the idea of the 2003 Collection reissue. But while that figure aimed more towards this is how you remember Starscream in your imagination, the one you see before you skews far closer to model sheet slavishness. Starscream's gray is far paler than that of the original toy, hovering close to the off-white side of gray. The tail fins are a much brighter cotton candy blue, and any and all paint apps are kept to a bare minimum. What you see is what you get. His iconic red and white wing stripes, tampograph Decepticon badges, and painted supports on his now bright orange cockpit. Being an original member of the Diaclone clan, Starscream can fit a single Dianaut pilot, and pretty securely at that. As for other features, his null rays are able to fire and come in two flavors as always, but come on, you won't catch me dead with his other pair of missiles. With 3 pairs of rolling metal landing gear, Starscream's vehicle mode is as playful as can be, but those canyon-sized gaps still frustrate me to this day, especially with how the engines bow inwards towards each other. Believe it or not, but I feel this most recent rehash of the original Seeker mold actually has better quality control than the last one. I say this because you only truly have to take off Starscream's front landing gear and null rays to transform him without feeling like you're doing some kind of balancing act. You still can take off his wings and rear stabilizers, but it's no longer strictly recommended, as their connections feel a lot more solid. The same goes for Thundercracker and Skywarp too. I don't mind Starscream not perfect transforming, as Diaclone was designed with a far different ethos than we're used to these days, though it can be a bit frustrating that the fists don't have anywhere to store in vehicle mode. At any rate, the tumbling cockpit is still just as fresh and fun as it was 40 years ago. In robot mode, Starscream looks far livelier with his cartoon-accurate paint job, brightening up considerably and looking far more like himself. I know, that's sacrilege coming from me, but it's easier to appreciate how the character designers were able to translate the original toy into something a lot more humanly proportioned. It is simply astonishing how much a simple redeco can change a toy. Which, I suppose, is how Hasbro gets away with putting out so many different Seekers. Starscream gets some new paint apps in this mode as well, such as these vents on his kneecaps and the dark gray on his shoes, but most consequentially, his mug gets an entire makeover, painting the vents alongside his helmet for the very first time, and saving us all the trouble of stickering his eyes. It might be laid on a little thick, but I've seen worse. Being a straight redeco of his prior release, Starscream comes with the remolded gauntlets first seen on the collection release, and their respective Megatron pistol, this time painted the same flat gray as Starscream's face. It comes apart and sandwiches around his fist, though since the gloves are for some reason molded in black and painted blue, the stock can be a bit of a bitch to get seated. Fortunately, while the peg isn't circular, it is 5mm wide, meaning you can give him to nearly any other figure in your collection if you want to. Being a Generation 1 mold, Starscream only features a whopping 2 points of articulation, those being the shoulders. They are pretty free, especially with how easily the wings move out of the way on their own joints, and you can even eke a backwards butterfly out of them if you use the transformation hinge. No? No one's gonna shoot at me this time? We're good? Okay. I have warmed up considerably to the Generation 1 Seeker mold, but that's not to say I don't still have a fair list of problems with it. I think it's fair to judge a toy both in the context of its original release and against modern standards, especially when it comes to a re-release, a modified re-release such as this. But even with the most generous appraisal, I still think Starscream and his crew fall short. His entire fun factor relies on the end user not losing a single piece, and even though tolerances are tighter now than they were 5 years ago, there's a reason it's so hard to find a vintage Starscream in good condition. He also just simply doesn't look good in jet mode, and those unsightly gaps still make him feel fragile. Still, this is the greatest glow-up this mold has ever received, and it'll probably stay that way for a really long time, so if you're after a G1 Starscream, this is as good a time as any. I'm serious, I'm not sure Hasbro can even give these away at this point. All in all, I think Starscream will have to suffice with the rank of crummy. A criticism to be sure, but a faint one at least. But what are your thoughts on Starscream? As always, let me know in the comments or tell me to my face by joining the Crew of Kit Discord server, linked in the description. Be sure to subscribe for more reviews like this in the future, as when we return, we'll be looking at another Seeker. This has been Kit Katastrophe, transform and roll out.